Real Radio 104.1, and you're listening to the voice of UCF, Marc Daniels, and the Beat of Sports on FM 96.9 The Game. You want real sports talk? You got it right here.
We're still going to lose to him in Orlando Weekly's best sports. There's no doubt. I mean, Angel always wins. Which is fine. It's all cool. But we are up. You can go vote at Orlando Weekly for best sportscaster, best radio show.
I voted for you and us.
Local host. And yeah.
As well as Bo Wiggins. Bo Wiggins is up there a few times as well.
I saw that. I voted for them too. Yeah. So you can go vote at OrlandoWeekly.com. So let me just describe the scene for you for a moment, if I can. Okay.
Please do.
There's some outage issues in the neighborhood going on. There's some construction. So we are kind of using not an illegal, but in the smart TV, there's more ways to get to, in this case, ABC than, because I'm a Spectrum customer, okay? And cable's down. Like, we're on day 3, okay? And either A, maybe our block particular area. Anyway, so there's a smart TV. Chris, the ball goes up. Okay? Start the game. And here comes the circle.
Oh, no. No.
And then the audio and the video are off. So I got video, basket goes in, and then I hear Breen go, good. This is not good. This is, I got my phone, I got the computer, if I got to go to that, but this isn't good. And even my wife has the blank look, okay? Then it's fine. Then a couple minutes later, mid-first quarter, happens again and everything. And then it settles down and it's good. I promised my wife I would not scream and so forth, but midway first quarter.
I can make no such promises.
Listen. Midway first quarter, she goes, are you going to analyze every play? Because she was right. Because I was like, get a switch, get back.
Yep.
And she's like, is this going to be like this? And I go, okay, I'll be fine. So I settle down. The Spurs go on that big run, 20-3 run. I'm not happy. I'm not scaring the cat or anything. And I told you, if I call a game, I'm working, and even though I'm into it, if I'm doing a UCF game, clearly who I'm rooting for. But just as a regular fan, I don't handle these things well. I don't. Okay, which is what you're supposed to be as a fan, right? You're supposed to just. And I'm in a knot. Halftime comes. Call down south. Said to my sister, "Here's my mom. I don't think tonight. Like 7-point game. Relax everything. Don't like it. Just don't like it." All right. Second half. Then, as it goes, and the Knicks are down 14. I'm not well. I'm now convinced they're going to get swept. I'm even thinking what the offseason is going to be like and everything. And then the Knicks chip away. And she's looking at me like, don't yell and everything. Then, fourth quarter, start of the fourth quarter, she tells me, hey, can you print out our reservations for an upcoming trip? She's to my right, okay? I have a position on the couch left. She's right, okay? And while she's into the game, she's on her phone too. Which is fine. She goes, can you print out the flight schedule? And I look left. I look right, like, and she's serious. I'm like, so I open up my computer during a timeout. The under 7 timeout. Okay. You know what happens, right? I go to click print and the computer's not responding yet to the printer, circle, and so forth. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. She's like, just be patient. We're back. Now, I haven't even hit the print and stuff's coming off the printer. Like, I don't even know what's printing. She's like, it's printing. I didn't click print. It can't be print. So I get through that. Okay. Now, the Knicks are up 8 with a possession, 2 possessions to make it 10. And all of a sudden, that thing gets a 3. It's down to 5 and everything. And then and now San Antonio's got the lead. And I'm not well. I'm not well. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, that jinxed it. You asking me to print the flight schedule has completely jinxed this game right now. And from an 8-point lead, they're down 1 right now. And then, Brunson starts doing Brunson things and everything. And the Knicks are up. What was it? It was 6, I think. And then OG's at the line, and the Knicks are up 8, and she drops it's over. I'm like,
No.
No. Yep.
No.
Drops a Nixon 4.
Oh!
I'm like,
No.
Stop.
No.
And then, they win. Yeah, yeah.
She's upset the basketball gods.
Anyway.
Oh, no.
Can you print the flight schedule that we've got? Right in the middle of the fourth quarter. Right in the middle of the fourth quarter. I love my wife. I'd give my life in a second, just like you love your wife. I don't expect them to understand everything, but at that moment,
I'm surprised.
At that moment,
I'm going back to the promise you made of not yelling. I can't do that. During the regular season Cowboys game, I'm yelling, I'm cussing, I'm screaming.
She was right, though. I was literally describing every possession. What are we doing?
Of course.
Get back.
Same. I do.
Switch.
We all do the same thing. We yell at the TV.
She was right, though. Are you going to do this the whole game?
Yes. 100%.
Anyway.
We can't sit there and just watch. We talk, we analyze. We're coaching from our couches.
By the way, it happened again last night. It was late in the game as the Knicks fans begin to kind of take over, and the camera gets what is absolutely the typical Knicks fan picture. Yeah. That's right, baby. What do you mean I can't get a pastrami sandwich here in San Antonio?
Where was Fat? I didn't see Fat Joe.
I didn't see Fat Joe either last night.
That's a little disappointing.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier, they did that when ABC goes around, they're showing Gary Payton when he won a title. They're showing, obviously, Manu Ginobili, and they're showing Robinson and Duncan and everything. Just Allen Houston. Just an Allen Houston. There's nothing below it. There's nothing we could do with that. Hit floater against Heat. Yeah. So there you go. We got a lot of stuff to get to from last night's game and some other stuff on this Thursday show. It's a great history lesson today. A lot of people will, I think, really enjoy. Got a lot of feedback on the Be Like Mike thing last week, but I think a lot of people will enjoy this week's history lesson in the 11 o'clock hour. All right, here's everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Oh, that's so great.
So I've been forgetting my prop the last couple of days. I gotta have my dad jokes served fresh
on the
daily
screen, you can
mug.
see Chris's coffee mug. Yeah.
My Liquid Death severed lime.
Here's my coffee mug with Liquid Death severed lime.
Are you ready, Mark?
Yep.
All right. What kind of shoes do chickens wear?
I don't know, Chris. What kind of shoes do chickens wear?
Reebok box.
The first time he did it, he had to make sure he got the bok because he had to laugh and he didn't know if he'd squeeze it in there. And he's still doing it. Chris, the fewer the games we get, the more attention we pay, and we're down to just one game in this NBA. I mean, the only game of the night, and so we magnify everything. And if you take a look at the two key figures going into the series, and again, it's just one game. First, let's do Brunson. Okay. Brunson is not shooting well to start the basketball game. And he ends up with 30. And when the Knicks needed him most in the fourth quarter is when he was at his best. Right? He was everything the Knicks needed him to be in game one of the finals on a night that he didn't shoot well, took 31 shots to get 30 points. And even Mitch Johnson, the Spurs coach, said after the game, that's not the worst scenario, meaning if he's got to take 31 shots, but he goes down, leaves, comes back. You can call it drama queen, whatever. But I mean, you saw it, knee buckles a little bit.
Yeah, you don't like your own teammate shoving the opposing player into your knee.
Well, then that thug Luke Gornett purposely stepped on his ankle. No, he didn't. And then that happens. And at least for me, I'm thinking, oh God, now what? But he was great.
The team survived without him for the span of time that he was out.
The corner three that he hit in front of the Spurs bench, and then the triple move on the basket just near the paint late to seal the basketball. I mean, that's big time. And I think you agree. Whatever the sport is, Chris, you could be a great regular season player, but great ones are remembered for what they do in the biggest games that ultimately do a championship, right?
Not just the biggest games, but the biggest moments.
Yeah, and he hits the corner three. He hits the other shot that put him up multiple possessions, and he was phenomenal. The other side, Wemby wasn't. He ended up with a bunch of points, but statistically, he didn't play well in the basketball game. He ends up going 6 for 21. He was 2 of 9 from 3. He had 12 points, turned it over 6 times, had 3 blocks. He was -3 and plus-minus. And the one-game sample size, it's unfair, the one-game sample size. One player, one team, even though the Knicks rallied from down 14, took a lead, saw that lead go away, but then closed the game on the 11-0 run, it's as if one team understands, like, this is, and it may be the one chance the Knicks have to win the championship. And the Spurs are like, did they get too satisfied by winning the West? Now, that's unfair because the game is tight with 3 minutes to go in the basketball game. But Wemby wasn't good last night. Karl Anthony Towns was phenomenal, both driving on him and defending him. And for a guy that had a reputation of being dumb foul heavy, he was great last night on Wemby. And again, the beauty of a 7-game series are the adjustments that's made from one game to the next. For example, what Mitch Johnson and soon-to-be Magic coach Sean Sweeney decide, how are you going to change your defense on Brunson? Do you jump him and double more? And then what you do with Wemby. But last night, the 2 biggest stars had interesting roles in their team's win and loss.
Well, I will say Wemby did look kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
He did look kind of slow. And I've said this before. Yes, he's tall. He's what, 7'5"? But you can body him.
We keep growing. I think it's 7'3", but now we get 7'4", 7, whatever. Go ahead.
But you can body him. He's lanky.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just kind of bully and push him around a little bit. You can get away with a lot of that stuff with it being the finals. They're not going to call, for the most part, these ticky-tacky fouls.
Listen, again, it's one game. And I think we talked about it briefly yesterday when Keith Smith was on. The number of low post plays they run through him. And you know what it was last night? 0. Now, getting the ball 20 feet out and then trying to back Cat down one-on-one. That's not feeding him in the post down low.
Right.
And yet the Knicks were comfortable with Towns playing one-on-one. He got a little bit of help at times from Anunoby. It worked. And then Cat has been great for the Knicks. But Cat's first step last night at times, he just blew by Wemby. Now, yes, he's got ability from behind to still make a play, but a couple of times he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Wemby looks slow.
He's gone. And then the Spurs and Champagne, is hitting threes in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an over in the second half. And then some other guy. I mean, Dylan Harper's going to be a great player. I mean, Dylan Harper's going to be an all-star for years to come. But Harper and Castle and Fox are not making shots when they need them late. And Brunson was.
This is what bothers me real quick just about the NBA. 79 threes, and they were jacking them up early. And
it was bad shooting by both teams early.
You can attribute that to nerves, which it's understandable. I don't think either team, at least with the players that they have on these rosters, have made an NBA Finals.
Yeah, I think it's probably nerves. I think it's the time off for the Knicks. It may have been, and also may have been a little bit of a tired San Antonio team. Although I don't know if I buy that. I mean,
they're young. They're young enough to.
Plus, it was 90 hours after their last game. Quickly, a 10 o'clock hour WYGM Orlando WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, they're too young for tired legs to be a thing. The average age is what, 24 for the Spurs?
I don't even think it is. Well, with Fox, it is. Yeah.
But no, I don't think they were tired. They just, the nerves, the stage, the moment was big, and then the Knicks were able to settle down more late than the Spurs.
Yeah. The other huge play to me in the game is Wemby's out guarding OG Anunoby in front of the Spurs bench. Head fake, head fake, head fake. And the minute, go back if you want to, you won't. The minute Wemby puts his hands down is when OG takes the three and shoots right in his face. And the Knicks, by design, you're trying to get him to come out, which he came out times because that's how the Knicks now use Cat. And now here he is caught guarding Wemby, and he's got to go out because, guarding OG because he can shoot the three. And he's, hands up, head fake, head fake, head fake. And then he put his hand, and the second the hand goes down is when OG fired the three. Boom.
Hand down, man down.
Yeah, no. It was, the classic, leave the hand up. Don't, head fake, down, boom. Hit the three. It's a huge play. And the other thing about the Knicks, and this isn't, I just use moment comparisons. The difference of where Orlando is and where you want to be is last night, every player that played for the Knicks did something to help them win. Alvarado came in when Brunson and Landry Shamet make some threes. Deuce McBride banked in the corner three, which I can give a million shots today. He cannot do that. He might shoot 60% anywhere with no one on him, but banked it in. But you got to have guys you can rely on. They're coming off the bench. I need you to make threes, and he's going to make threes. Even Mitchell Robinson with the hand injury still did enough, and banging Wemby, did enough.
They were talking about Mitchell Robinson's hand when he missed the putback dunk.
Yeah,
talking about how that could have been a factor in it not going in. But he played well. He didn't play a lot, but he played well when he played.
He did enough.
That's all you can ask.
Wide body that can grab rebounds. I mean, Wemby got a couple of opportunities for putbacks, so you're like, okay, only because the one where he literally taps the ball back to himself, gets and puts it back. Okay, because of his size. But for the most part, he did get pushed around. And that's what the Knicks need is to have refs that allow that to happen. And as he walks off the court through that tunnel shot and his head shaking, and then he even commented after, he knew that, he didn't play well. They had a chance after down 8 to come back and take the lead, and they can close it out. And there's a ton of pressure on San Antonio now for game 2. Ton of pressure.
You know what moment sticks out to me in the game is I think it was a Jalen Brunson miss, but he was able to actually tip the rebound, get the offensive board, and then hit his second three.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much sealed the game.
Yeah. And again, it's one game. There's a ton of pressure now in San Antonio because, and look, it's just the body of work. Last night, the Knicks found themselves in the fourth quarter in a close game for the first time since the Atlanta series, and the Cleveland game where they came from 22 down to win. But if you go back even just to that, that's it. I mean, that's it. During the playoffs, everything else has been a blowout. So here they are. They blow a fourth quarter lead. Then Brunson hits a big three to put him back up, and then they made the plays, and all of a sudden San Antonio does not make the plays. I don't buy after one game the stage is too big for the young San Antonio guys. They took the lead with 3 minutes to go. But
then as the moment got bigger, they faded away.
I know. I'm just saying, though, let me see if that continues to play itself out, because we're just 3 days removed of when they closed out the NBA champs in Oklahoma City. So I can't throw away what they did there. If you continue to see in close moments in the fourth quarter, the Knicks clearly just are, then that's valid. I just don't take that from one game last night. And I think both teams would tell you, even though they had their moments, they didn't play a perfect basketball game. I mean, as you said, and I think you're accurate, the beginning was brutal to watch. It was just clank, 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 clank. And but let's see if that plays itself out if we get closer games. There is something to be said about the run the Knicks are on, about how many games in a row they win and the double-digit wins. I mean, it was another double-digit win. And from down 14, they won by 10.
So I got to ask, because to me, I thought it was a ridiculous statement in the first place, but Mike Brown's job being on the line, even if they made an NBA Finals, has he saved his job for next season?
I'll let you know in about X number of days.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
But
that's ridiculous.
Look, the conversation is just it's silly, but he also works for an insane owner, so I have no idea. But I choose to not think about that because, you know. And by the way, I actually think Tom Thibodeau's rooting for the Knicks.
I mean, it's his roster, is it not?
It's his roster. I will give Mike Brown credit because they pivoted twice. They pivoted at the beginning of the season with some tweaks, and they did it again during the playoffs against Atlanta by running more through Cat, and he deserves credit for that. But I do think Tibbs is probably rooting for the Knicks, and for Mike Brown, it's a really interesting moment. But it's only one game. But I just go back to and they don't win without Josh Hart last night. 3 points.
15 boards.
But they don't, and steals. They don't win without him, and picked up a early third foul too. So you need guys to step up and make big plays. So now you see what adjustments you make going from game one to game two, and and this is Sean Swinney. This is the Magic's new coach. What do you do to make it harder on Brunson? Because you're still risk-reward deal. You want to jump him, put two guys on him in half court. Somebody's open. They did try to pick him up more in the second half, right across half court. But again, look at his fourth quarter.
Well, if I'm the Spurs, I'm taking advantage of that hobbled knee. I don't think they really did that.
If it's as hobbled as you think. I don't know. Again, lots of people are like, did you see a little bit of blood? That means you took a shot. I don't care. I could care less. If the head of the enhanced games went into the Knicks locker room to give him something, doesn't matter to me. I could care less. I could care less. Shoot him up with whatever. I don't know. I mean, he's not going to practice today, and I hope there's nothing there. But
I think the adrenaline will get him through the series.
Yeah. And then I also want to see what they do from a Wemby standpoint offensively, because he had a rough night. I mean, he's going to get a couple of dunks just because of the size, but he's going to have a rough night.
Again, you can body him up. If I'm the Knicks,
Well, that's why. Listen, that's why the news yesterday, and then him going and playing. That's why Mitchell Robinson's ability to play is massive because Cat had success against one last night, but Mitchell Robinson did too. And if you don't have his minutes, that's a completely different basketball team, injured hand or not.
Mhm.
He just does so much and grabs, I don't know the exact number, and yes, they keep numbers like this, of available offensive rebounds in the NBA this year. Like he's one, and it's not even close, like to 2, 3, and 4. Now, if he's not in position, ball shot, they don't count that. But in position to grab it up, no one grabs more offensive rebounds than Mitchell Robinson. So we'll see from game 1 to game 2. I just thought it was really interesting. The two key figures last night, Brunson has one of those nights that if the Knicks do win the championship, you'll talk about the game clinching game, but you'll look back and think in game 1 when he goes down and you're holding your breath like, oh, no, is this going to now be everything? And it wasn't, and then he has an incredible fourth quarter. And for Wemby, what are the next X number of games?
Just given these storylines after game 1, within, I'll say a month or two, we're going to have a documentary on this series.
A documentary in the series?
Yep. Jalen Brunson overcoming the knee injury. Wemby struggles despite being 7'3".
I'd watch a documentary on just the obnoxious Knick fans that get into the building. That's what I would want. And by the way, how did they get so many seats behind the bench?
Bottom up.
It was insane. Not like
there
late
was
in the game,
a lot of Knicks fans,
but not. It wasn't like late in the game. Knicks up 30. Like it's a close game, and that section behind. But anyway, all right. Game 1 goes to the Knicks. A lot more to get to. Still to come with the Beat of Sports. Do you think, Chris, when you get to like series like this or a Super Bowl or World Series, does there have to be like the villain and the team everybody roots for?
There doesn't have to be, because I think in this situation you don't have any villains. There's no villains. If it would have been OKC, I think SGA is quickly becoming a villain. But this series, Knicks Spurs, I don't think anyone hates Wemby.
Are they likable, both teams?
Yes.
Like if you take the obnoxious Knick fan part out of it.
Yeah, no, there's no hatred. I would bet on it.
Like not because of what Becky Hammond said, about Brunson's size. Like I would think the casual basketball fan likes Brunson.
Yeah.
Like, don't we like the little guy playing in a big man's game that
I could do without the arms in the air constantly, but other than that,
yeah, I mean,
that's other than that though, I have no issues with Jalen Brunson.
Right, and I even said I'm having a hard time, but I'm now deep into it. I can't stand Wemby, and then when the series ends, I'll love him again. But he's impossible to not like.
Yeah,
he's impossible to not like. The Spurs are impossible to not like.
That's what I'm saying.
Bunch of young guys run around and
there's no villain.
Yeah,
there's no villain in this NBA Finals.
Oh, one team wins two more. You're going to see people have a villain.
2 more or 3 more?
No, I'm saying once they win 2 more, and then they're 1 win from winning. There'll be 1 win from winning.
Oh yeah, you guys will all be obnoxious.
Can I give you 2 tweets that are just typical 2026?
Oh boy.
Look at me, stand out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll do the first one, okay? Emmanuel Acho. You got to love it. 1 quarter into the NBA Finals, Jalen Brunson is affirming the concerns people have about small guards being able to win it all. The closer you get, the more physical it gets. So far, Brunson's body is betraying him.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, the great thing about when you click send on that on Twitter, here comes the correction where despite an early leg injury, Jalen Brunson returned to score 30 points in 37 minutes. The Knicks won game 1, 105-95. Did you find this helpful? I clicked, yes, I did. But here comes your favorite. Here comes your favorite, Chris. And your favorite was on your boy Skip.
Let's hear it.
Well, he did brag that he picked the Knicks in 6, okay? And then,
of course he did.
Right. And then he's live tweeting
please, can we stop with
throughout the game? Like, Knicks have missed 5 in a row. Like, why am I putting you on my timeline to tell me that the Knicks lost 5 in a row?
Missed 5 in a row.
Right. But he did tweet this out at 10:11 last night.
Okay.
Final lights just too bright for these Knicks. Final lights just too bright for these Knicks, right?
I can't be mad at it, though, because that's pretty much what I just said about the Spurs in the final, 2-3 minutes?
Wait. But then puts out one of his 12-minute videos reminding you that he picked the Knicks in 6 and how much he loves Jalen Brunson. So it's
I don't understand how people can just sit there
right
this
during the game and it's like Knicks on a 5-0 run. Do you think that people are like, hey, turn the TV off? Why? We're just going to let Skip take us through the next 3 hours, okay? Just turn the TV off. I know we got a 75-inch screen. Turn it off. Why? We're just going to have Skip tell us. Hold on. Bright light's not good for the Knicks. Oh,
I think the Knicks are going to lose then. Knicks lost.
Yeah. Oh, man.
How? I don't understand how these guys make millions of dollars. What is wrong with the world
right
today?
now? Neither's making $1 million. So there's a reason why they're tweeting all the time from a standpoint of relevance. By the way, bravo. I mean, ESPN was going to just send it. It's good to have inside the NBA. They've never done it in finals before. It was good to have those guys, both pregame and then a postgame.
Just like any other pregame show I don't watch.
Well, okay, but I do like them, and it was it was good to have them there. And I thought ABC did I mean, Mike Breen's really good, and that crew's fine. I cannot stand the in-game player interview. Drives me crazy.
You didn't like listening to Karl Anthony Towns after what, the first or?
I just can't. I just it drives me crazy. It just I can't stand it. The other thing, and we talked about this in the bridge, the fan that runs on the court.
I hate him. Instantly.
Fan runs on the court during the game to try to run and get a selfie with Victor Wembanyama. Like I say sometimes, I don't want to know what stupid thinks. Like people are like, I wonder what he's thinking. I don't, but I'll be honest. You think that out, right? You don't just do spur of the moment, right? I mean,
No,
you're thinking.
100%. And you've probably bragged about it. You probably had it posted somewhere.
So he runs on the court, and you got a security person coming from behind. You have one coming from the front court where the ball is, and they grab the guy and take him off. And again, like I said earlier, he clearly was not held because he posted the video, which then picked up everybody else. How is that person this morning still not sitting in a San Antonio jail facing severe charges? And I would hope the NBA bans him for life.
We see
potential security risk of anybody in any game. And I said this earlier. I don't care if it's an exhibition game or let alone game one of the NBA Finals. You've lost the privilege of ever stepping into an NBA arena again as long as we have the ability of blocking you. You don't get to just go posting, all right, did something stupid. Sorry.
Well, it's same with the idiots who want to run on the field or try and streak during a baseball game, during the Super Bowl.
I know, but
or
it happened last
games.
night, and the video's posted, and I haven't read that he's still in jail. So I can only assume, and I don't even know if he went to jail. What do? Just take him on and go, hey, now leave the arena? Okay, that's it? And I don't know if that's what happened, but I didn't see anything about him being arrested. I didn't see any San Antonio TV station to report. So you just take him out? Like, belongs in jail.
Let me see if I can find something.
Unless something was posted. I did the search before the show, and it doesn't show that he was arrested and remained. He got the video out, posted the video. The penalty needs to be you're banned for life. You're banned for life. You can never.
That he runs on during action, during the play of the game.
Yeah. Now it's impossible to block a person because you watch on TV, go to an NBA game. If you're sitting courtside, if you're sitting in any row that's got an aisle to get on, you can get on the court. But the penalty needs to be, one, you're still in jail facing severe charges, and two, you're banned for life.
I agree with the ban. I don't throw him in jail for what, though?
For what?
For what?
He ran on the court during the game. Who knows what could have happened? Listen, okay, he doesn't have a weapon, right? But Chris, he runs on the court, and any player you want gets tripped, gets hurt, suffers a
What happened with the Yankees fans with Mookie Betts? Did they get arrested?
Did they get arrested? I think they now live a life of luxury for what they did after that criminal Mookie Betts jumped in the stands to violently attack them.
No, but did they get arrested?
I don't think they got arrested.
They touched a player, Mark.
Chris.
Mark.
Chris, my sarcasm aside, they belong in jail too.
But did they get arrested? No.
I don't know. Oh, doesn't mean it's okay.
I'm not saying it's okay.
All right.
But if they did not get arrested for touching a player.
No, but I'm being consistent. They all should be arrested. You all should lose the privilege of going to that stadium, that sport, period. Otherwise, you're just going to encourage it.
I agree with the lifetime ban, 100%. I just don't think it warrants being arrested.
Wait, so you'd be okay if they just said, hey, now you got to leave the building?
Fine.
Fine. Who?
Make it a hefty fine.
From who?
What do you mean from who?
What? Who's fining him?
The Spurs.
The Spurs? What makes me pay it?
Did he not violate the terms of the ticket?
Okay, so you fine me. What is the
and ban him from every
wait,
arena.
wait. You just said fine him, okay? Before you said ban.
Fine and ban.
Oh, well, that's different. And how are you making me pay the fine? How much, by the way?
Wow, whatever the Spurs think
I'll make a number, 10,000, right?
Okay.
What's making me pay it?
The risk of then going to jail.
That's not how it works. Okay, you either charging me and asking the authorities to charge me. You can say I'm fining you, and I can say I'm not paying you. How do you make him pay?
So then, what makes anyone pay a fine? What makes anybody pay a fine?
If I have a parking ticket and I don't pay, they can suspend my license because there is a law that I'm violating, and there are consequences for that. You're asking someone to pay a fine where there is no penalty other than, hey, don't come back. You're fine. I won't pay. I'm not paying the penalty. That's why he needs to be arrested. Should have been arrested. Yeah. And should be forced to spend an hour in the jail cell with Mitchell Robinson. Cam Miller's next. because he's typing on his computer. You there?
Oh, I'm here now.
Good. Okay. Welcome. Good to chat with you. And now you're a Florida resident.
I am once again a Florida resident. Trials and tribulations to get down here. Took about a week and a half, but no, we're here. We're back. First 25 years of my life were spent here. Now it's the latter half. We're gonna enjoy the life and give my kids the upbringing I had down here.
Two big trades. First, Miles Garrett goes to the Rams. He had a no trade clause, so he pretty much could dictate where he was going to go. They had arguably the best defensive player in quite some time. They may get back the other great defensive player if Aaron Donald decides to come back. I don't have a problem with what the Browns did. They get a good young player in Jared Verse. They get some assets. Maybe people thought they should have got another number one, but how do you view that trade with Cleveland and the Rams?
Yeah, I think, for Myles Garrett, he gets a chance to win now and then maybe ride off into the sunset and maybe form one of the greatest defensive line duos of all time if Aaron Donald does return. But for Cleveland, it feels like with that no trade clause, they got the best deal they possibly could. A young emerging player in Jared Verse who has proven he can wreak havoc off the edge as well, but also a first rounder and some other extra assets. It feels like Myles Garrett wasn't going to waive that clause to a team that's not competing, that has multiple first round picks. So it feels like for what they could get out of it, they got the most and they maximized their return. So I like it for both.
By the way, did you both see that Jared Verse wore number 8 and Dylan Gabriel said it would have been nice, but he just showed up and took 8 and walked on the practice field? That's got to be a slap in the face there, Cam.
It's a pretty bad week for Dylan Gabriel, unfortunately, here with the comments from the team at the quarterback situation, and then losing your number by de facto somebody just showing up. So not a good week for Dylan, unfortunately.
Okay, let's look at the other trade. AJ Brown, long rumored, and now it happens. He goes to New England. Give me your thoughts on both teams for this one.
Yeah, I mean, New England itself. It makes a lot of sense. I understand where it feels like it was a disgruntled relationship, so you had to get rid of him on the other side. And so for New England, to me, it feels like they needed to do a little bit more to recoup the trenches this offseason. And it felt like they maybe just did a little bit less. And this was maybe not quite a panic move, but it was definitely a reach to try to go get a receiver who has shown maybe in stints, not quite as consistent as you would want a proverbial wide receiver one, and what you give up to get that. I mean, it makes your quarterback happy and it gives them a valuable weapon, but it feels like there needed to be a little bit more to not just repeat and make it to the Super Bowl again, but also maybe be a factor in the Super Bowl if they want to. So I like it for May, but I think we need a little bit more for the Patriots.
How about for Philly? Look, Howie Roseman deserves all the credit. He gets the first round pick here and all the drafts, but the season doesn't end well with the view of the offense and Jalen Hurts. And now, when he's on, one of his key weapons is gone and maybe there's not a true number one. How about New England? I mean, Philadelphia now.
Yeah, it felt like, again, another one of those situations where AJ Brown didn't necessarily want to be there, and maybe that speaks volumes to Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. But to me, it hurts. It hurts that their chances to not only compete in that division, because I feel like that division's now wide open, and the offense itself, they're going to lack an identity, because as much as Saquon can give you an identity, they need to have a team that takes the emphasis off of stopping Saquon, because it feels like now if you can stop that backfield duo of Hurts and Saquon running the ball, it doesn't feel like they're going to have much of a passing attack.
Of coordinators that became head coaches, which team that lost their coordinator may suffer the biggest loss because that person's no longer there? You have Kubiak, obviously, in Seattle, that left for head coaching job. Same deal in Green Bay. Is anyone going to suffer more?
I think I want to say that it's Seattle because of the success that they saw with Kubiak, but to me, it's Green Bay, and you're losing essentially what you've built with a roster under the quarter. To me, so it's Jordan Love's. Can he be that franchise quarterback that is able to withstand changes in the offseason? Because it feels like that's really the big discrepancy in quarterbacks over the past few years or past decade, is that when they lose coordinators, and it's been on both sides of the ball, but when they lose coordinators, it's a large detriment to the overall scheme, because then you're looking at players that need to fit a coordinator's style of play, so to speak. And I don't know if Jordan Love has proven yet that he's the quarterback that can lead the group of men on the field. So to me, I think it's the Packers, not necessarily the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's a bit easier because you've got a veteran quarterback in Seattle. It's one thing if you had a guy that was still developing in a second or third year, but I would imagine a smoother transition because of the veteran QB, right?
Yeah, and Sam Darnold, I mean, say what you will, dude's been fringe top 10 quarterback for the past 2 seasons in different environments. And so he's already proven that he can sort of take it and run with it. He understands what he's capable of and what he's able to do. And the continuity, besides Kenneth Walker at running back, that team returns relatively fully on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, for that matter, losing only 3 starters, right? And so to me, they showed what they can do without Walker all the way to the Super Bowl. And so, yeah, as much as I'd like to say that losing the offensive coordinator from a Super Bowl champion is going to be big, it feels like they're able to mitigate that because of Darnold.
Let me stick with quarterbacks, and 2 questions I think are interesting. Both these guys, and it's just an OTA, but they're important snaps and practices. But I'm curious, the position of both Ty Simpson with the Rams and what they're trying to do win a Super Bowl, but taking him. And then the other end of the spectrum, because he wasn't drafted anywhere near that, although at one point the year before we thought maybe, but Garrett Nussmeier in Kansas City. Who's in a better position if you had to pick one? And the benefit for both of, you're there with a veteran coach, quarterback that clearly, is very, very good. So who's in a better position if you had to pick? And then what the upcoming year may be like for both?
Yeah, I want to say Nussmeier, but with the 7th round pick, it feels like we knew that maybe he's just a career backup, is what the NFL is clearly telling us, that what they thought of him as well. And so as much as being behind under Andy Reid and behind Patrick Mahomes may behoove you, I think the style of play is a little bit different for Nussmeier behind Mahomes. And so to me, it's Simpson, because if Sean McVay is not a quarterback whisperer, I don't know who is. And you get to play behind a consummate professional who's done this for 15 years now in Matthew Stafford. But also, I think the runway to play is a little bit shorter, actually much shorter for Simpson. And so I think as long as he understands his approach here needs to be learn and soak up every bit of information possible from McVay and Stafford. It wouldn't surprise me if he starts a game in week 18, if they've locked up a playoff spot, or, if all goes to plan, he's just sitting for a year, maybe 2, winning a Super Bowl, and ultimately then is the heir apparent. So to me, I think it's Simpson that has the best apprenticeship here.
Chris and I have gone back and forth on this. He doesn't like the Rams pick of Simpson because of the opportunity to get an impact player there, but the Rams maybe feel whatever the window is, if it's 1 or 2 more years with Stafford, and I'm guessing that McVay would rather have the replacement in the building now so that it is a smoother transition as opposed to, all right, let's go hunting for a quarterback, right?
Yeah, it feels like you could also, maybe if there's a moldable ball of clay in this draft class, it was going to be Ty Simpson. And so we don't quite know what he's been able to fully show with multiple years of a starting caliber type play. He's not that player. We've only seen him for the 1 season. And so to me, it almost feels like you had to buy high here to get that guy that they think he could be, but also ultimately maybe get him some spot reps and then, cut and run in a few years if he's not going to be that guy, and then find it elsewhere. But it feels like in this class, they had to buy significantly higher than I think they would have in any other class with this mid-tier quarterback or mid-tier starting quarterback capable. But it feels like, get your guy. They're playing maybe 40 chess, it feels like, here if it does pan out.
We talked about the two trades of Myles Garrett and A.J. Brown, but clearly nobody had a better weekend adding talent than the Giants did at wide receiver, correct?
Yeah, no, of course not. I mean, let's
Chris,
rekindle.
why are you laughing, Chris?
How long ago was that OBJ catch?
I mean, you add Beckham and Juju. I mean, what are you guys laughing at? And Braxton Berrios? I mean, nobody had a better week.
Hey, this is
right?
Not nearly as amazing as the Bills making the announcement that they locked up Mac Delina, former Fresno State great Mac Delina at wide receiver. You know, that gives Josh Allen a huge boost.
Give me a sneak peek. I may have asked you this, but pardon if I'm repeating. Are there a couple of G6 guys that have now found themselves at a P4 place that just by transferring improves their draft stock and you think's in a really good position? Because, and we've talked about this the last few years, whatever criticism people have of the transfer portal, it does serve the purpose for some guys that don't get that P4 chance, that go G6 route, whether it's 1 year or 2 years, develop themselves, get attention, can make some money, move up to P4. Next thing you know, they've vaulted themselves into one of the top 3 rounds. Are there a couple of names, and here we are in June, that stand out to go watch these guys because they proved it, and now they're going to get another chance to prove it?
Yeah, the easiest ones, and I it's not a cop-out, I swear. It's because I actually think this high of these guys. It's Drew Messmaker and Wyatt Young, the quarterback and wide receiver combo at Oklahoma State, transferring from North Texas up, obviously following Eric Morris, their head coach. If we were talking about Drew Messmaker as a potential draft-eligible quarterback last year coming from North Texas, I think he would have been potential fringe first-rounder because I think the talent that he brings to the table is incredibly high. And so if he's able to just produce what he did last year against some of these Big 12 defenses, I really think that that's the kind of player that the transfer portal is perfect for. Allow him to show out what he did against some of those American defenses. And then if he can replicate that skill set, I think this is the guy who's a first round caliber quarterback. And then Wyatt Young at wide receiver is that same type of player where I think he can actually be a wide receiver 2 in the NFL, but we've seen wide receiver 2s are now first round picks as well. So not quite their first round pick on Wyatt Young, but a guy that duo to me is what the transfer portal is perfect for. They get to follow their head coach, not have to sit out a year, and then they get to play and vault themselves into the draft conversation.
By the way, do you know what Chris has been playing on his computer? By the way, it's safe for work, but Chris, you want to share with Cam? Maybe Cam already knows about the website, but Chris comes in like so giddy today. Go, hey, check this out.
It's pretty cool. It's 20and0.com. You basically, you're able to kind of spin a wheel and it gives you a team and a time frame. And your goal is to fill out a team with the best stats to get a 20-0 record. Everything is simulated. And you can either do it to where you see the stats of the guys.
Well, give me an
drafting.
example. You had the Eagles from 2021 to 25.
So I had I got the Chargers from 2016 to 2020. You can get the Niners from 81 to 85. And your goal is to fill out quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver, flex, and then you can do defense as well.
So you're drafting guys during that 5-year period, and then the simulator
with whatever the time frame is.
And what's the most number of wins you got so far?
16-4.
See?
Well done. So 82-0, the basketball one. This is the football version. Now I'm all for it. It took me maybe 2 hours yesterday of endlessly scrolling on the 82-0 to go 82-0. So I don't doubt that I will spend many hours on this getting to 20-0. So
please check out the work that Cam and his people are doing. They got some really cool stuff up right now. You can get everything by going to at Cam Miller on X or Twitter. The work at Pro Football Network and the Daily Debate Club is a lot of fun. Hey, good catching up. Welcome back. Welcome to Florida again, and we'll catch up next week. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mark. Thanks as always, guys.
Cam Miller joining us. Chris messed up in the stream.
I did. I figured out what I did wrong, and we will have
happens.
Cam.
It happens.
Cam will be up on the stream next week.
He was
I
so
apologize.
Excited. Chris was like, yeah, locked in, got it.
I was super excited.
And then you heard echo. Bark. What? Yeah, really great job.
I apologize for that, guys.
11:35, history lesson today. I know I overhyped these, but I think a lot of you are really going to relate to today's history lesson. But the hour kicks off with the news next.
Let's really do the news.
Yes. Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
11 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR, HD2 Cocoa Beach. Get to the news. Last night, game one of the NBA Finals. The Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Both teams shot poorly to start the game. Knicks had an early lead, then a 20-3 first quarter run for San Antonio. Gave them a 27-19 first quarter lead. Knicks were down by 7 at the half. Third quarter found themselves down by 14, but the Knicks did what the Knicks had done throughout the playoffs. They rallied back, had an 8-point lead, 2 chances to go up by 10. Missed that. Wemby hit a 3, but then the Knicks closed the game out at an 11-0 run after being down by 1. They win at 105-95. Jalen Brunson on a slow night to start the basketball game ended up with a game-high 30, 12 of 31 shooting, though 2 of 9 from 3. Hit a big corner 3 with an offensive rebound for the Knicks in the fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns, 18 points and 12 rebounds. Josh Hart played great despite scoring 3 points. He had 15 rebounds and 6 assists. Victor Wembanyama last night, just 6 of 21 shooting, 2 of 9 from 3 in the basketball game. But De'Aaron Fox was 3 of 13. Devin Vassell was 4 of 11 in shooting as well. And the Knicks take a 1-0 lead. Let's go outside Madison Square Garden, where Knicks fans gathered to watch the game on the big screen last night. Alex Monaco for MSG in the middle of all of it. He just grabs random guy. Who just starts screaming as well, and then he throws it back to the studio like this. Chris's favorite. Typical Knicks. Meanwhile, Chris Haynes is reporting that the NBA is looking into 2 courtside fans who allegedly directed vulgar, profane, flopping remarks towards Knicks star Jalen Brunson late in game one of the NBA Finals. And according to Haynes, it's why Brunson met with official Scott Foster after the game to address the fans' behavior. Apparently, he had asked Foster multiple times to ask security about the individuals there. Now you're thinking, hey, you got to take the criticism, but I guess what Brunson said is what they were saying had crossed the line. I don't know what was said, so I do not
that's
know.
what I want to know is what they were saying, because if obviously you get slurs involved or bringing
if
out
it's
someone's
just hey,
family
you're a
member,
flopper,
get over it.
Yeah.
But if there's something that crosses the line, then they should be dealt with.
I want to play one more thing for Chris, just one more time. If you missed this earlier in the bridge, you heard it, but I think it's worth listening again. This is Gilbert Arenas interviewing A.J. DeBonsta, the expected first-round pick of the NBA draft.
The spotlight is coming to you. So if the spotlight is going to come to you, then I'm going to keep you home. Because it's
Boston.
It's your city. No, Utah.
That's not home.
It's not home for you, but it's been home for the last few years.
Right.
And that is your city right now. Right? So
Utah's also not a city. By the way.
What is it?
Salt Lake City. A state.
What do they call it?
What are they Utah?
I mean, I'm just be honest. We didn't pay attention to Utah, so that's different. You know what I mean?
Salt Lake City was the city that you played in when you played the Utah.
It was.
And then BYU's in pro. You got to be trolling.
I want you to go back and listen to the dead air. Because the sensitive mics, you can hear Chris kind of shut off. But pick it up once again.
It's not home for you, but it's been home for the last few years. Right. And that is your city right now. Right? So Utah's also not a city, by the way. What is it?
Salt Lake City. A state.
What do they call it?
Oh, that's so awkward. Utah's also not a city. What is it? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he go to school with Arvell Reese or something?
He went to Arizona.
Utah's not a city.
What is it?
Was growing up in LA. By the way, Gilbert Arenas was born in Tampa. He's 44 years old and doesn't know that. Yeah.
Utah's not a city. What is it?
It's one of those things.
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to Utah. That's not an excuse.
Unbelievable.
What are we doing?
Christopher Sanchez had his 50 and 2/3 streak of scoreless baseball snap last night. Finally gave up a run, got a standing ovation, and a heck of a run. 50 and 2/3. Fifth longest, dating back to 1893. Game one of the Women's College World Series goes to Texas to beat Texas Tech 7-3. They'll try to wrap up the World Series with game two tonight. By the way, EA Sports, Caleb Williams is on the cover of Madden 27. Chris hates that.
Whoop-de-doo.
So anti-Caleb Williams.
He's not good.
Dante Moore of Oregon, Malachi Tony from Miami, and Kewan Lacey of Ole Miss will be on the cover of College Football 27, which comes out next month.
You know what's been in my head, and I've wanted to play this drop, but you kind of go so fast that I don't have time to play it. Where did Jalen Brunson hit his three?
In front of the Spurs bench.
Where was it though? On the court?
In the corner.
Corner three. Corner three.
I love Family Guy.
What is it? Salt Lake City. State. What do they call it?
It's so awkward. It's so awkward. What is it?
Oh, man, it's great. Wow. By the way, after the Knicks winning game one last night, the get-in price for game 3 of the NBA Finals is what?
Oh, God.
This was
hold on. You said get-in price.
Get-in price. This was as of 12 minutes ago.
Well, it was what? In the 5s before game 1, so let's go up to 7.
6,100. Yeah. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight, where Las Vegas will look to take a 2-0 lead in the series.
That's probably what, like 500 to get in for a Stanley Cup Finals game? Hang
on. You want to go tonight?
Don't tempt me with a good time. Maybe Carolina's got some beer skates left.
Okay, here we go. You want to get in tonight?
Yep.
Incredible site. Just to get in price?
Yep.
$5.89. What? What?
Some of the tickets I'm looking at for Cowboys Packers are in the 7s.
Yeah.
A Stanley Cup game.
Yeah.
Is less than 600.
Yeah.
Let's go to a Stanley Cup game. Let's
go.
I
mean, this seat is way, way, way up, but I mean, you wanted to be in. If you want to spend more, I could put you down low. It's fine.
No, let's go.
But you didn't buy your ticket yet for the Cowboys Packers.
No.
Well, the price is going to come down. You know,
I'm waiting. Well, I did see, I think a week ago, it was in the 5s.
Yeah, I mean, you understand the game. I mean, the price will come down. It's not like, I mean, you've done it long enough, so it will come down.
But we're not sitting up in the nosebleed. Well, there's really no bad seat at Lambeau, but
no, but ideally, you want to sit like around the 20 or 30 yard line. You won't sit in the end zone, right?
No.
Yeah. No. Okay.
20, 30 yard line.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank the folks at Kreiderman's Barbecue. Came by and dropped off some really good smoked barbecue. Chris, I know, dove into that. It's part of, they're going to be out, part of the Merritt Island Fest, which is this weekend. It's the ultimate summer festival experience happening in the Space Coast. Merritt Island Fest is back this Saturday and Sunday at the Merritt Island Veterans Amphitheater. You got Real Radio personalities and WJR personalities going to be out there, part of our sister stations. They got food, vendors, surf expo, arts and crafts, and so much more. Go to merrittislandfest.com, merrittislandfest.com. Check it out. Be sure to check out Kreiderman's Barbecue, all part of Merritt Island Fest this weekend. History lesson in about 25 minutes. We come back. More of the Beat of Sports next.
He's the voice you trust for the teams you love. You're listening to Marc Daniels and the Beat of Sports.
He's still yelling. Alex Monaco, MSG. Just like he hasn't left. He's still right there outside of Madison Square Garden right now. Still has not left. Great. Just great.
That's great.
By the way, what's your thoughts? The Yankees were home last night. Got the Knicks playing game 1 in San Antonio, and fans went to a Yankees game. Big city, but
what would you do?
I'd watch the Knicks. But, if you live in New York, I think you got to watch the Knicks.
Is there any sort of regular season matchup that would make you say, you know what, I gotta see this?
What do you mean?
Yankees and say Tigers, and it's Garrett Cole.
Well, my wife and I are going, for our annual week trip to New York, and I have tickets to a game, but there's nothing that's competing with it when we're there.
Okay.
But to miss a Knicks game on a Knicks NBA Finals game?
Yes.
No.
Would you try and sell the tickets? You have tickets?
Yeah.
You try and sell them? Okay.
Yeah. I explained this, and somebody asked me again yesterday. If you're a fan of 4 teams, meaning that you're from a certain place, and football, basketball, baseball, hockey, you can add MLS if you want, depending on where you live. And somebody says pick one. I said, well, it's hard, but I've been very honest, because it's been 53 years since the Knicks won, and I was 6 and have no memory of it, that this would be, without a doubt, the most special. And I'm blessed to have watched the Yankees and Giants 94 since the Rangers, but this one would be the most special.
If every single team is on the same exact drought, which one is then more special?
I can't answer that, because history comes into the brain, and I'm getting pretty frustrated with the Bronx Bombers, and now with a potential Judge injury.
Boo-hoo is, 28 titles?
It's been a while since.
Boo-hoo.
It's been a while since the last one.
Boo-hoo.
I don't care about your boo-hoo. I'm just telling you. But the one that has the longest drought, the one that look, the Yankees have gone years, Chris, when they didn't win the World Series, they were still one of the better teams in the Knicks have been so bad for so many years until you had this run. So that would make it certainly different. So yesterday we were doing the show, and you can listen to the show on FM 96.9 AM 740 and the iHeart app. Watch the stream live. Go to YouTube, 96 The Game Orlando. Click on the logo on the live button. You can watch the stream live. Yesterday, that congressional hearing with college sports and the Protect Sports Act and all that stuff. So one of the speakers yesterday was Pete Bavacqua, who's the athletic director at Notre Dame. And I want to play a clip of what Bavacqua said, because one of the items in this bill that is going to struggle to pass called for the pooling of media rights. And then people jumped on that. One, they would need 75% of the FBS schools to agree to it. And they're not going to get there because the Big Ten and the SEC oppose it. But anyway, this is what Bavacqua was commenting on about pooling media rights, and then if you want to really maximize media dollars, and then thoughts of a super league.
A second concern is, if you want to truly maximize the media value around the largest sport in terms of eyeballs, which is college football, I do think the best way to do that is a super league. And I certainly don't want a super league. I'm not sure anybody necessarily wants a super league. Flooding the market, aggregating the market, bringing it to an aggregate form to major media companies, I'm not sure that's going to drive the value some say it will. If you wanted to maximize media value around college football, I think you would take 24 to 30 teams, create unbelievably competitive scheduling where a team like Notre Dame would play Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and start to get a number that more closely resembles an NFL number.
And they'd go 6-6. Oh, yes, they would. See, people forget that, okay? And the idea about a super league, and all I got to give you is the National Football League. You know what? Not everybody gets to play 800 win percentage every single year. You know, just like in the SEC when you have 16 teams, someone's last. And, you know, he talks about competitive balance and all that stuff. And you may say, wow, what a schedule. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. Yeah. And you're going to go 6-6. No, that doesn't mean you're going to go 6-6 every year. And the Super League thing, it's fascinating because you'll find people who are among those brands who'd be like, yeah, I'd love to have that. Okay. You know, just like in the National Football League, Chris, we talk about this all the time. It's really hard to go 17-0. So hard that no one's done it. In the National Football League, you can go 12-5 and have a really good year and have a shot to win the Super Bowl. Now, if you want to start doing that in football and you want to create some Super League that plays 13, 14 games, then 10-4 is going to be a really good year. And you'll be crowning champions and sometimes have 5 losses. And some of you may think that's a really cool idea. His point, and he says this knowing confidently, that if there ever was a breakaway and some form of Super League, Notre Dame's not getting left out. So it's easier to sit in that position. But the Super League idea, people think, well, if you take these teams away, since they get the most media attention, then you'll be able to get this incredible TV package. Maybe, maybe not. I don't believe pooling all the media rights, which includes Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12, and the MAC. It won't triple the value currently being paid, which is about $4 billion a year. It won't make it worth $12 billion. It won't, even though some think that. But I still go back to this when people say, like he says, we'll take 24 to 30 teams. Are we just going straight on what? TV ratings? Is that what we do? We just go straight on, or is it on-field performance? Okay. Like, which should matter, or should both matter, Chris? Should it be based on, hey, these schools over the 10-year period have the highest TV ratings, therefore, if we did a Super League, we'll take just these teams?
No, I think it's performance on the field.
Okay. So, and I know we've done this example before, but walk with me again. Is Indiana in?
I mean, they won the championship last year.
No. I didn't ask you that. I just said, is Indiana in? Because if we're doing a 10-year period for everybody.
Oh, last 10-year period? No.
I mean,
Indiana would not be in.
North Dakota State's got a better resume, and they just won Division I.
Indiana would not be in.
Okay. Nebraska?
Nope.
Utah?
No.
Why not? I mean, I could do the game and I could cherry pick numbers and actually did for some. You know, Michigan State's 18-30 in their last 4 seasons. Arkansas is 13-23. I'm sorry, 13-24 in their last 3 seasons. The last 5 years, the Gators are 29-34. Nebraska's 40-66 in the last 8 years. It's like people go, well, you know, we'll just take the blue blood. So it's not about winning then. It's just about the biggest TV draw. I mean, I bring up Utah because 20 years ago, Utah is in the Mountain West. They went to the Pac-12, built up their program with the resources, became one of the best programs there. They make the transition to the Big 12, no problem. Okay, great fan support. You leave them out because of where they once were to where they are now? Well, you know, some of my, I don't know, I call them friends, but some of the people that I know that are national college football media people love columns about Super League and it's a TV ratings and you take these schools and it sounds great. Up until the last 2 years, is Miami in?
Based on the last 10 years, probably not, no.
So how do we get to that? How do we get to that? If you want your Super League of 24-30, what's their criteria? Because we're not getting promotion and relegation. We're not going to get that. So how do we get to that? Because like I said,
would that be a bad thing though?
What?
There's 138 teams in D1 college football.
Yeah.
Divide that by 4, we'll say 4 divisions. That's 23 teams each. So, I mean, it could
No, it's not.
No. 6 divisions, sorry. 6 divisions of 23
Yeah.
each.
Yeah. What about it?
Best teams work their way up.
Who
Bottom teams work their way down or get relegated.
who determines the grouping now?
It would have to be well, let's say the NCAA.
No. There goes that idea. Because then you're just being courted about why my group got played. Listen, if you started over from scratch and everybody agreed, promotion relegation would be fantastic, but we're not getting that. No one's agreeing to media deals where they could end up losing the money that they think that they're going to get. So we have to get past the idea of promotion relegation. It will never happen in college football. Never. It's fun to play, the game of this and that, and imagine what's at stake if you got to win your last game.
Well, did we think we'd be in this position right now with NIL and transfer portal and all that? Did we ever think this would happen?
Well, a form of it, I think we thought would happen. But at least in my lifetime, I don't think you'll ever have a promotion or relegation, because if you had something like that, and I've played the game before, if you just match up a P4 with the G6, so like the ACC from a geographical standpoint, although that's out the window these days, the American would be their partner, and you'd say, well, hey, the bottom 3 move up, and the top 3 get promoted. No one's going to agree to that because of the TV money that you're making in one conference versus the other. So it's a non-starter. If you lived in a fantasy world, sure, you could do something like that. But I just like the breakaway Super League, and I'm like, who's in? So wins don't matter. Indiana guesses right, hires Kurt Signetti, and in 2 years we've now made them a blue blood. I mean, now all of a sudden they would be in it if we had a Super League. They would count. I mean, that's why it's comical sometimes when people start talking about that stuff. But then again, it's college sports. So, all right, when we come back, history lesson, which I think some of you in a certain age demographic will love, and hopefully the rest of you enjoy as well. It's next.
All right, boys and girls, take a seat and listen up as we take a trip down memory lane with Marc Daniels in this week's history lesson.
Time to gather around, boys and girls, for this week's history lesson. If you are like me and your youth, you grew up in the South, although South Florida isn't really the South, but if you grew up in the South, it was impossible. It was impossible to not become a wrestling fan. It just was all over the place. And when you're a kid, and you grow out of cartoons and you just start watching professional wrestling. And when I grew up, Chris, in South Florida, I knew on Saturdays I'd get Florida Championship Wrestling, and I knew at night, sometimes before those great Braves games, I'd get Georgia Championship Wrestling. And it was awesome. The wrestlers, the robes, the matches, the interviews, and it became part of the culture in the South and has an incredible history. John Francis Walker was born in Charleston, South Carolina in 1934, and he was trained to become a professional wrestler and made his debut. You never use your name, Chris. You always get assigned a name, and he was assigned the name Johnny Rubberman Walker and did the whole tour for a couple of years, and then a couple of years more. And in 1964, at the age of 30, he retired just because of the grind of being a wrestler. And he came out of retirement in 1967. So he wrestled for about a decade. He's out for 3 years and then comes back. He's working the independent circuit in the state of Florida, which, just imagine, Chris, American Legion halls, Rotary clubs, high school gymnasiums, a hotel, conference room under the name The Grappler, but this time with a mask. Yeah. In 1972, he retired again and began running a gas station in Tennessee. This is a country music song right here, is it not? A promoter came up and said, listen, I know you don't want to wrestle anymore, but you know the game, you know how it works in the ring, and we could really use your expertise. And so, Georgia promoter Paul Jones and booker Leo Garibaldi convinced Walker to come back and made him Mr. Wrestling number 2. Yep, that means he's a Mr. Wrestling 1. And they became partners. Chris, here's the cool thing about it. Not only were they tag team partners, but because the Mr. Wrestling mask hero was so famous, there were some nights that Mr. Wrestling 2 actually wrestled as Mr. Wrestling 1 and vice versa for a while when they weren't tag team partners. Yeah, happened. Mr. Wrestling 2, though, became famous, and the veteran understood his role and became incredibly popular. In 1972, Chris, he picked up the eye of someone that by the time he got to the mid-70s began thinking about something bigger. At the time, a Southern governor and his family enjoyed watching Georgia Championship Wrestling. In Plains, Georgia, Jimmy Carter and his wife and his mama used to love watching wrestling. And their favorite wrestler was Mr. Wrestling number 2. When Jimmy Carter runs for the presidency and wins and is going to be inaugurated in 1977 as the President of the United States, Jimmy Carter from Plains, Georgia. Chris, every incoming president has a staff that puts together a massive list of people that they want to invite to the inauguration. You can't just sit down and go, all right, let's go Uncle Bob and Sue. You have a staff whose job is to make sure you leave nobody out. So the story goes, the inauguration list is done for Jimmy Carter. until Jimmy one day says, wait a minute, I got to add somebody. Jimmy Carter invited Mr. Wrestling number 2 to come to the inauguration. Walker, shocked, honored, initially accepted the invitation, but then declined. You want to know why? Of course you do.
Yes, please tell me.
He declined a seat with Carter's family. He wasn't going to be put somewhere else. He was invited to sit with Jimmy Carter's family. It's how big he was in the Carter family. But he had to decline because Secret Service said he would have to take off his mask to sit with the family. Jimmy Carter wanted Mr. Wrestling number 2 to wear the mask during the inauguration, which I maintain would be the greatest inauguration video ever. Ever. Would it not be?
100%.
But he couldn't do it. And he told Jimmy Carter, I must decline, and I cannot take the mask off. There is more to Walker, though, than just his wrestling career. His wife at the time, Olivia, she was famous in her own right, but not for wrestling, Chris. In the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s, some of the biggest brands' names in wrestling, it wasn't just about their ability to wrestle in the ring. It wasn't about their ability of doing the interview. It was about the robes. And do you know who made most of the robes in the South for wrestling? That was Mr. Wrestling 2's wife, Olivia. Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. There isn't anybody more famous for robes. You know, did most of Ric Flair's robes for about 15 years? Mr. Wrestling 2's wife made those robes. Yes. For some of the biggest names in wrestling. He wasn't just good in wrestling and understanding how the ring world worked. It was the interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, 1982, July the 3rd, Mr. Wrestling 2 and the great Gordon Soley promoting an upcoming event at the Omni.
And I want to take a couple of moments right now, as you can hear, quite a response and quite a welcome for two gentlemen that I'm going to bring to the mic side at this time. I'm referring, of course, to Mr. Wrestling number 2 and Tommy Wildfire Rich. And gentlemen, welcome aboard.
Gordon, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
By the way, he's wearing a suit without a tie, shirt open, collar outside the suit, 3 buttons down, hairy chest and a necklace, and wearing the mask.
Needless to say, but you know, we have one thing we are aiming towards, and that's tomorrow night. You know, tomorrow night is the Omni. The Omni tomorrow night is going to have a lot of excitement. Superstar, you and I, we're going to see if you've got the guts or the power you talk about many times. A mental transaction thing with you. Well, let me tell you something. You're going to have a mental problem when it's all over with me.
Whoa. Huh? Yeah, by the way, this was July 3rd. They're promoting the 4th of July. You wrestle the 4th of July in the Omni. That's bigger than anything, man. Okay? You can do a UFC fight in the White House lawn. That ain't nothing to the Omni. By the way, on the screen, it says the Omni July 4th. Ticket number 577-9600 if you want to get your tickets to be there. Mr. Wrestling number 2 knew the game, and he was good at it for years. As he moved on the backside of what would be another, return out of retirement, the body was breaking down, and they made him a bad guy, and it just wasn't the same. So, by the way, Chris, 13-time Georgia wrestling champion. 13 times, by the way. Yeah, you don't just roll into something like that, man. He was signed after leaving Georgia and Florida wrestling. In 1984, he was signed by Vince McMahon for the then WWF. Never really made national TV experience. Did it just for the money for a couple of years. Would stick around in a few independent circuits and wrestle, but for the most part, the career had wound down. His wife died in October of 2000. And 20 years later, the age of 85, on June 10th, 2020, he passed away. John Francis Walker, the age of 85. But imagine sitting at a presidential inauguration with a suit and full wrestling mask. Would have been absolutely insane.
If the president allows it, if you're Secret Service, you're like, all right, this is on you, Mr. President.
Jimmy Carter and family with his mom would watch Georgia Championship Wrestling. And by the way, when Carter becomes president, and Chris, this is in 1977. Our world of cable is just evolving. Okay? Not only did Carter remember to put him on the invite list, but do you know one of the things that Jimmy Carter also put in a list when presidents, and we still do it today, when presidents move into the White House, there's a long list of things because they've done this for a few times, of things that the president, the first lady, and the family, if you're going to have kids, live. What do you need? Ranging from toys for the kids, candy for the family, certain foods, other things around the house. When Jimmy Carter got around with family to filling out the list of things that mattered to them outside of food and all sorts of stuff, he wanted to know if they would have access to Georgia Championship Wrestling because he wanted to watch it on Saturday nights. That's today's history lesson. Back to wrap it up next.
Time for the latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends. Ooh.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Game 2 on the NBA Finals happens tomorrow night in San Antonio. Get in price. Get in for less than $1,000.
All right.
That's why some Knicks fans said they went to San Antonio. They could access the tickets, and with the airfare and hotel, cheaper than spending what you got to spend to go to Madison Square Garden.
Well, I mean, you got to think of hotels are going to be a hell of a lot cheaper in New York. Flights probably a hell of a lot more expensive to go to New York. Yeah. And then tickets, obviously. You don't get that in San Antonio.
No. No. You don't get that back in San Antonio. And you don't get this every day either.
That is your city right now. Right? So
Utah's also not a city, by the way.
What is it?
Salt Lake City. A state.
What do they call it?
Oh. The silence kills me every time. It kills me. Utah's not a city.
And then Gilbert Arenas turns to, one of his guys like, what is it? And that guy's like, I can't make fun of him because I make coin off of him. It's like, Salt Lake City's where you play, but it was the state of Utah. Kind of like, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just telling you. AJ DeBon says it looked like I'm actually sitting in this thing with you right now. You've heard it 10 times. It makes you squirm, doesn't it?
I mean, do I make him the
Dud of the week?
Good Lord.
It's good though, isn't it?
Oh, it paint the silence. The silence makes it it elevates the level of horrible.
Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final comes your way.
Are we going
tonight? No, we're not.
Why not?
We're not going. We'll see you tomorrow for Friday edition of our program. Missed any of today's show? Go where you get your favorite podcast and type in the Beat of Sports on demand. You can always access the video as well. Go to our YouTube page at 96 The Game Orlando. Click on the logo and the live button. You can catch it back. Chris, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
You as well, Mark.
Chris produced. I'm Marc Daniels, the Beat of Sports.